Good morning, Zanzibar! Team Zenzi. I am failing spectacularly at keeping myself alive. I cannot do it alone. I'm asking the 5 of you to help the 5th force in one very specific way. I'm going to ask you to watch my Nobel Prize manifesting video. It's about 18 minutes and 33 seconds. I want you to see the performance and the world-evolving physiological thought experiments and then I'm going to ask you to write a recommendation, and when I come back to the group, only as necessary, send it to some strangers that I'm pitching. If I can coordinate a small group of people, if I can get 2 to 5 people coming in the next day or so after I send a pitch saying, whatever you want to say. She sincerely needs help. She sincerely is onto something. It's innovation in all dimensions. She's used bioelectromagnetism to stay alive after toxic mold exposure took nearly 90% of my capacity to walk and talk. Did this all myself. Using intuition. That's what I turned this on to tell you. So we're in a world where we think the only things that matter are what we see and hear. We're in a seeing is believing paradigm. We have entirely definitive data that females feel more than males. It's a different biological vibration. Knowing, gut instinct, intuition, whatever you want to call it, knowing comes from the vibrations of your body, your biofield, and your attunement to the environment, which is like billions of pieces of data. Everything in our society is happening without any consideration of environmental factors, whatever. Every single one of you, every single person I've went to has said, well, you now are under the terminology of homeless, so you go here. I have a memory of a word, tell you Section 8, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's doing anything to think about the context of if these things, A, won't harm me as a sensitive person. They will. B, most importantly, I need help with what's right with me, not what's wrong with me. So I want you to be in your power pose, in your I'm going to save this species from self-extincting mode, and write up a recommendation for me. One generic one. You want to find out about the person, I'll send you, a link to their profile. We're going to get me to either Stanford or UC Santa Cruz. Both have well-respected philosophy departments focused on philosophy of science. UC Santa Cruz likes eclectic philosophy. The Center for Public Philosophy Crickets, like as usual. How can they be? Stanford used to say feminist philosophy, and got some females who will pitch directly. Sorting the hard problem of consciousness into an easy pivot, and then redoing all of what we think about human functioning. This is not a business. It belongs to all humanity. In this country, I only have two options. I either get a job or I make a business. Well, there's no jobs for solving for consciousness. For a mid-50-year-old woman who hasn't worked for 13 years, nobody's giving me a job. It's wasted time. Make a business. Same criteria. We keep supposed to be different. Everything's supposed to be changing. Here I am facing the fact that we as a society devalue the wise feminine. Feeling is knowing. I go from seeing is believing to feeling is knowing. Ask you, be on this little thing, when I do a good video, when I find out how to pitch some Stanford professors and some UC Santa Cruz professors, and maybe here locally, I've got to have funds to get to these places. I can't get to these places without gas and parking and and everyone leaves me alone. This is so wrong. Everyone assumes everyone's supposed to have all these resources to make anything happen. And I've said very plainly to thousands of people, please help me. And it never happens. So this is the succinct. I'm going to ask you to think about writing whatever it is. You don't even have to copy me. I'm a different kind of human, and I need to make my own way in the world. And that has been simply impossible. There's no attention span left in adults in the U.S. of hypocrisy. Everyone is booked solid until 2030. Here I am going, there's no reason we can't demolish racism by 2030. Hashtag how to demolish racism by 2030. Why is nobody finding these things, talking to me, asking me questions? We can demolish racism by 2030. But not a single adult in the U.S. of hypocrisy will give me an hour of their time. And I really need 90 minutes, basic. This is saving our species from self-extincting. This is an entirely new model of human functioning. The problem is, all the time I'm spending is to get you out of the current mindset. And then people's attention spans, they don't stick around for all the good. This is really enlivening. Once you understand everything's frequency, you are in command of your life. You start fixing things, and it's exponential. Life is just like that. Since it's all vibration, it's this whole concept of constructive interference and destructive interference. Your body is an instrument of consciousness. It's a symphony. And this is how everyone goes around saying, be careful what you say. Everyone all changing what you say. I know what I say. I record what I say. I re-listen to what I say. No one will stop not telling me I don't know what I'm saying because they don't know what they're saying. We are in a communications nightmare to be the generation of adults who have to save this planet. We is on hyper-mortgage time. And nobody's got the attention span to solve anything in any new ways. We're just repeating the same old horrible mistakes. What changes that is life-centric thinking. This is the global movement. A global hive mind. First, do no harm to any molecule of life. Understand there's stuff, there's life. Life works through bioelectromagnetism. It just never ends. The gloriousness of what you can, how you rethink, the light bulbs that occur. Right? Again, I love laughter. Stand-up comedy is great. But I can't, there's a lot of being ever more raunchy and making fun of people. And it's the wrong genre. I can't just show up at open mics and stuff. This doesn't go over well. But what I can do, create a new club scene where other people, they come and get their trauma out, speaking, expressing. This is literally the vibration that heals trauma. The model that we have now is you're speaking to the wrong person. Speaking to somebody who's a wall of professionalism. Not supposed to hug you, don't get involved. You need to speak it to some people who will get involved and do nothing more than write, a couple paragraph email like, she's not cray-cray. Well, she's intentionally crazy like Vivica Fox. A+. You see, it's the playfulness. People don't know how to, well, if you're really that smart, you wouldn't be playful. We have any idea, if we've seen anything into the life of some of the real, Nobel Prize winners, they tend to be practical jokers and, in and amongst themselves, there's all kinds of, there's the Sherlock Watson. Einstein had Beso. It's the particle wave complementarity. I exist as wave, pure potential. I do not collapse myself into particles of limitation. I do not go stand in line for charity when I'm supposed to be dedicating my time to saving our species from self-extincting in 30 years. Everyone I meet tries to peer pressure me to being the very lowest vibration of myself. No wonder I'm my autism is all the way up. I am one interaction with a police person to dying. I am sensitive to everything. I have 3 main situations of autism that I cannot fix until I get some sensory deprivation. I must have somewhere to go and have enormous amounts of sleep. Get me some hibernation and I fix all of this, right? That's the only medicine I need. To go to sleep and to have the ability to eat what me and my body need. I need the gallons of cream, raw cacao, demerara sugar. One intervention will put my body back in okay. You felt it right there. I lost my train of thought, that side, that understanding. My symptoms of autism, hyperlexia. People think I can just stop talking like this. I cannot. 2, it's called PDA. They, like idiot savant, they pick a bad word. PDA is pathological demand avoidance. In my case, it is 100% physiological demand avoidance, and it's back to this battery thing that you can watch in my Nobel Prize manifesting. I do not have the capacitance. My electricity is not flowing for me to accomplish things by myself in this situation after having 10,000 people leave me to die. Selective mutism is on top.